Whoa, hold on a fucking second. Before you listen to this high quality and engaging and very funny episode of the Kill James Bond podcast, you might be interested to know that we've got some fucking merchandise on pre-order right the fuck now. If you head on down to www.killjamesbond.com/store, you will find a shirt and a poster, and for only 2 weeks, bloody shirt and poster combo, £5 off, get them both, easy. I didn't come into this one with a plan. They're both drawn by Mia Kane, and they're really good. You can find also a link to all of this in the description of this episode. Okay, I've taken up enough of your time. You... Oh.
I'm a member of Spectre.
Spectre?
Spectre.
We're so close to being done.
2.5 hours.
I can taste it. We are so close to being done with James Bond. We are Kill James Bond, and we're getting close. We're getting close. Every day we're getting closer.
Mm-hmm. Don't stop. We're so close.
Absolutely. I am Alice Caldwell-Kelly. Joining me are Abigail Thorne and Devon, and we watched Spectre, as you may have guessed. Spectre. Spectre. And so now this has left me with the task of trying to condense a 2.5 hour movie
Grueling.
into, I want to say at most 90 minutes. So
I did 2 shifts of watching this fucking movie.
Oh my god.
I had to clock in for the second half.
So
Let's go.
We begin with the best Bond opening, as far as I'm concerned. Is good. Bond is in Mexico City at a big parade for the Dia de los Muertos. This is not a real thing. This is a tradition that they invented. They invented this for the movie. And then,
and now Mexico City does just also
yes,
have a parade.
Yeah,
They were like, yeah, all right, why not?
I don't hate that. Mexican friends of mine have made fun of this as an example of the sort of liberal vacuousness of Mexico City's municipal government. But I don't mind this idea of a movie did a cool thing, so we're just gonna do it now. But yeah, no, as a set piece, this isn't bad. You see a classic bit, which is a guy who you know is evil because he's wearing a white suit, walking around, and you see obviously a James Bond wearing a skull mask following him.
Yeah, meat mountain with a skull mask on.
Yeah.
This scene, for most of it, is done in one shot, although I don't believe it's actually done in one shot.
You can actually tell where the cuts are.
It purports to be.
You see someone walk the whole way across the camera or something, and you're like, wipe, you wiped.
Yes, yeah, but it pretends to be one shot. And
Why?
It's because
this is a theme we'll come back to.
That's cinema,
baby.
That's cinema. This is a
Movies
serious movie.
Shit.
This is a serious movie, not kind of trivial. So yeah, I don't hate this idea. This is basically like a Hitman level. Someone has been playing the Hitman games, and what they've come up with is, crowd disguises.
I mean, if you recall, all of the skulls that Silver sent to M in the previous one were not just skulls; they were Dia de los Muertos skulls.
Yeah, they're sugar skulls.
So to me, it made perfect sense for him to go here.
Yeah.
And then later on,
totally
they
unrelated.
confirmed that it's unconnected.
Totally
and I was
unconnected.
So what? So it's just.
but what I'm really liking though is that they're using the what's the name of the when diegetic. They're using the diegetic sound of the drums of the festival, and it's quite compelling. And then they shit all over it and they ruin it. And I knew I was not going to enjoy the movie after this point, and that is he goes into the hotel room with the sexy lady and he takes off the mask, and you're like, holy shit, that's James Bond, as if the Daniel Craig shape of the guy and the fact that it's a movie about James Bond didn't tip you off. And the fucking theme plays like this. This is
damn, that's cool.
It's such a small thing.
Spinning 007.
It's such a small thing.
I'm gonna light
but this movie
cigarette.
has so many little musical stings, and I hate every single one of them.
When he does something shit as well.
the first movie that I noticed that they have specific themes for specific things happening.
Yeah.
Like, I started to notice when they were playing the same theme over and over, and I hated it. Also, and gentlemen, be remiss of me to not mention, the color grading is dog shit.
It's yellow.
It's even
It's
weirdly
yellow.
shit in the fucking, like, opening gun barrel sequence. It's weirdly yellow.
And this is the thing, right? Because the thing about Mexico is that it's yellow. We all know this from every movie that's set there that isn't made by Mexicans. And
This color grade a D.
It's so yellow. They've put like the Chris Hemsworth Middle East movie thing on like Mexico
it's
City.
like watching it through the case of piss Christ is how yellow it is. So Bond trails this man in a white suit, who we later find out is named Sciarra.
You overhears him mentioning somebody called the Pale King.
Yes, and they're
he
going
also
to
sees him like show somebody a ring, which kind of looks like a Hitler salute if you're only watching casually.
Yeah.
And then he blows up the fucking building.
Yeah, he hears them do a plot to blow up a stadium, and tries to kill Sciarra, hits the bomb instead, blows up the bomb and part of the building. And at this point, the movie sort of devolves into like Marvel shit for a bit. Like he gets pelted with foam rocks. He has to like run away from a big CGI collapsing building.
Because this film wants to be the Avengers. It really wants to be the Avengers.
So
there's a stink of Marvel about this.
It's like how the previous movie came out directly after fucking
Dark
Knight and was like, wow, isn't it cool to be like the Dark Knight? This one came out after the Avengers and was like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
Holy fuck. Also, they steal a lot of shit from Game of Thrones. I'm only going to mention one, but they keep doing it. My two notes here are, this is the spookiest Bond yet. You should just kept the mask on the whole time. I think it would have been good. And things are always happening to this guy.
Oh yeah, he falls and he lands perfectly on a couch for a little bit of like comic relief. But like,
just things keep happening to him.
So like, this is a massive parade, right? And it's in the center of Mexico City. Like, it leads to the Zocalo, right?
Big plaza, yeah.
Yeah, the Zocalo, the national square of Mexico, the big Mexican flag. You can tell. It's like, essentially this is like doing this against the White House, right? He blows up a building which collapses, and it's sort of like people are stumbling around, the streets are full of dust. It's like 9/11. 2 cop cars show up, and it's like, just like no one's screaming, no one's doing anything, and it's like, listen, at least the Turkish police had the motorcycle suicide attack squads. Yeah, the Mexican police don't do fucking shit. They just drive there, get out, and like Bond sees Sciarra escaping. So a bomb going off is not even like, all it's done is like dirty his white suit. And then what we have
chases him, and he chases him into a helicopter that's taking off in the main square. He fights Sciarra in the helicopter. It's
we have to have
James
him like
Bond.
chase him through the procession, right? And I wrote down, this guy Sciarra, he's no Mitchell. Because it is just the same thing of like these two guys chasing each other in the midst of a big like civic event thing.
Yeah, we've done this. Yeah.
Less parkour.
This reminds me of when I was chasing a guy through a big civic thing when I was the same guy. Like literally the same guy.
Sciarra tries to escape in a helicopter. They fight.
The same guy.
They fight in the helicopter.
James Bond, the world's dumbest man, climbs into a helicopter that's taking off over like this square that's just packed with people, and then just starts punching the pilot.
Yeah, he puts the pilot in a headlock 2 or 3 times.
James Bond applies for the Kronstein Rosette because he kicks Sciarra out of the plane. First of all, murder. He steals his octopus ring off his finger, but then he attacks the fucking pilot.
It's not even that. Like, he attacks the pilot first when he climbs into the helicopter.
His opening gambit, his opening move is to put the pilot of the helicopter he's in a headlock, and
which of course causes the helicopter to be wiggling around all over the shop, making the rest of the fight very difficult.
He also like just happens to grab the ring off the guy before he kicks him out of the helicopter. Also, by the way, before he gets to the helicopter, he has to like chase the guy down the street, right? There's a whole line of Mexican cops who are just facing the procession like, nothing done. Didn't just hear a building blow up. This movie is a slander on the professionalism of Mexican law enforcement, and I, for one, won't stand for it.
Anyway, he gets the octopus ring, and then we get the titles Skyfall 2.
The sky is on the fall. A huge
This
L.
is the biggest L for the non-binary community.
Yes.
We get one.
Yeah.
We've got one non-binary artist making a fucking James Bond theme, and it's the shittest one since.
Have
Dying
you
of a
have you
Day.
considered that maybe octopus? That's
What if
the
there was an
opening
octopus,
credits.
though?
What if there was
a fucking octopus?
What if a guy was an octopus?
out.
What if a naked, sexy lady was an octopus? What if you were an octopus?
Yeah.
It's so funny. Like, again, the symbolism is always ham-fisted as shit in these, but it's so funny. It's like they show, like, fucking Mads Mikkelsen, and then they show Javier
Remember
Bardem,
him?
and they show
Remember
Mr.
him?
White,
Remember M?
and then they show the guy who turns out to be Blofeld, and, like, a lot of tentacles come up behind him, and you're like, well, God, he's the author of all your misfortunes, James.
Oh, I hate the fuck. I'll get into that fucking line.
Sam
Oh my
Mendes is
God.
back in the directing seat. He directed the last one, which means this film is going to look very pretty at least. And also, I noticed something that I don't remember if it was on the last one or not, but we see co-producer Daniel Craig.
Yeah.
We do, yeah. He started getting those sort of credits during, I don't know that they even credited him, but he started doing it in Quantum of Solace, because that was written during the writer's strike.
Yeah.
So he was doing a lot of his own writing, which I think is why it's good.
Quantum was
Yeah.
good, yeah. I don't
Absolutely.
know why the writing in this one's so bad.
I hate to say it, but we're actually pro scab on this podcast purely because the Writers Guild strike resulted in a better written Bond movie.
Just goes to show you should let actors also be writers.
That's true.
Please come and see my
attack and
play.
receive, baby. for every Quantum of Solace, you get a Transformers Revenge of the Fallen, and I'm willing to roll those dice.
So
Then we get a classic scene where M says, "Bond, you piece of shit."
I wish you'd been drowned as a child.
James, you're a fucking
James,
dickhead.
I'm going to give you late onset sudden infant death syndrome.
James.
So new
Let a
M,
dingo steal you.
Gareth Mallory, our man wearing the trouser braces. Gareth. Steve M is very mad at Bond because this
In
Mexico
order to
City
establish
shit.
that this man is M, he has a scene where he goes, "Fucking Bond, come on, man."
And he's mad at Bond because
Yeah.
the Mexico City thing was unsanctioned. He was just there on his own, and Bond lies to him about it. He's like, "Yeah, I was on vacation. Fuck off." Which puts this in the category of Bond movies where Bond goes rogue, right? Which by this point is a good 20% of them.
My man goes rogue more often than he is on the case.
Why did they
he
keep
retires
hiring him
once
back?
per movie. Daniel Craig does.
The fucking job security at MI6 is outrageous.
Jobs for the lads. So anyway, M says, you're on leave, you're on paid vacation, you're fired, fuck you, stand down.
Mhm.
Then we hear that MI6 and MI5 are going to merge into a new joint security service, which will be headed up by a guy named C.
And we
Andrew
meet
Scott.
him, Andrew Scott.
Oh, and a man hoves into view. And viewer, if you are a Tumblr person, you
you're
are aware of this
You're
motherfucking
aware.
man.
You know
Oh,
who
yeah.
Andrew
This
Scott
is Moriarty
Yes.
from BBC Sherlock, and he hoves into screen. And I
He was
went
going to salvage his
Moriarty.
career.
Well, no, not even that, because the direction that I feel like Andrew Scott got here was like, you know how maybe you thought you were ever going to do a role again which was going to employ subtlety? No.
Idiot.
Do fucking Moriarty again. Be sinister. And so he shows up and he like kind of waggles his eyebrows at Bond. And he's like, I think it's actually quite good that you're getting in trouble because I'm bad. And
to the
I'm
point
Andrew
where, like, when I
Scott.
first saw this movie, I was like, "Oh, this is a red herring." Like, C is obviously
he's
gonna
gotta
turn out to be good.
his name is
Clearly.
his name is C. He is the
I've seen a movie before. Like,
yeah. C is, by the way, the real life initial for the head of SIS. But
Which is very funny
yeah.
because like Bond dubs him this. He's just like, no, this is my name, and Bond's like, I'm gonna call
Well,
you
this is the thing.
C.
He tries to be like,
It's like,
kind of
okay.
like chummy, like a kind of like texier, like my door's always open kind of thing. Please call me fucking what?
Call me Gareth.
Call me
Moriarty.
Gareth. Yeah, call me Moriarty.
Moriarty.
And Bond is like, no, I think I'll call you C for no reason. It's like, yeah.
If anything, he'd be O because O comes after M. Whatever.
It's not even particularly well explained within the
No, it
context of the
doesn't.
movie. I was like,
Don't tell me
why?
about the alphabet.
Yeah, they call him
should be
N, which
N.
would be.
O does come after M, but not immediately.
We're doing our best here. It's fine,
Okay,
boys.
chip in to obtain a carbon monoxide detector for Abby's flat. So Bond is on leave, but he asks Moneypenny, who is now still working the desk. She's like found her level as like sort of like secretary, to help him out by coming to his apartment to deliver some shit that like I guess was left over from his office. And she comes.
The other thing she delivers is this fucking line where she says, "I think you've got a secret, and it's something you won't tell anyone." And
Yes.
I'm like, oh man.
Yes, because you don't trust
really did come back
anyone.
from a strike,
Yeah,
didn't they?
yeah. This is the thing, right? I was tempted to pull that, but like, I was zoned out at this point because the writing is so flat in so many places that I'm just like, yeah, it seems like you have a secret because you don't trust anybody, and you're not going to tell anybody that secret because you don't trust anybody because of the secret. So
she delivers two like unbelievable lines like that, and I'm going to get to a second one in a minute. But James's apartment is classic male living space.
I also wrote this. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. But where Bond lives, right, is like theoretically a good opportunity for characterization, right? And the idea that like it's just totally bare, it's empty. Because so is he.
PS3
yeah, exactly.
He's got a PS5 somehow.
He has one crate of gamer fuel he's using as a chair.
He's got a nootropic.
Yeah, but like that's an interesting piece of characterization. But the thing that they fuck up is that it's untidy. And I thought Bond was like supposed to be this former naval officer, former special forces, curtain ironing psychopath. Like the guy in Layer Cake is more like James Bond in this respect than James Bond is. James Bond is like throwing shit around. He doesn't give a shit because he's like punished Bond. And it's like that doesn't make sense to me. I feel like it should be.
Also weird he's so persnickety about his clothes and his watches.
Yeah, like he never has anything that wears anything that has a single like crease out of place, and yet when you get to his house, he doesn't have a giant wardrobe full of tuxedos.
No.
All of his suits in this movie are dog shit. None of them fit.
I stopped
even
paying
I was
attention to
starting
suits.
to notice it.
I mean, so yeah,
they're wrinkling up where they shouldn't be. But like, yeah, he turns on the TV to play a recording that he's got, and I've written, James, it's me, Judith Dench from the movie GoldenEye. I've got a secret mission for you.
Yeah, she's a force ghost.
Meryl Streep is appearing in
basically a force ghost of fucking previous M. It's just like, James, I've got one last
M,
mission
who
for
to
you.
her dying fucking breath could not understand what this guy Silver's deal was, couldn't understand what Quantum was, has figured out on her own that the next step in the chain is this guy Marco Sciarra go to Mexico City and kill him.
Completely unrelated to the fucking skulls.
When was she recording this, by the way?
When did she figure this out?
But in keeping with the theme of this movie is Skyfall 2, Moneypenny gives him a box and says, "These are the personal effects that we recovered from Skyfall." It's a bunch of pictures of like Bond and Mitchell together, but also Bond's old adoption papers because his parents were killed when he was a child, but he was adopted.
The SIS boys trip between Bond and Mitchell every year.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. He spends too long looking at a picture that's like him, his like adopted father, and then there's a third guy there, but like the picture's ruined, so you can't see the third guy's face.
Who could that be?
And I wrote, please no.
What's really funny is that like there was a period before this movie was released where they had admitted, because you can't hide this, that they had cast Christoph Waltz, but they were trying to hide that he was Blofeld, so they would only refer to him using his alias. But like at this point, at this point, when you look at the burned photos next to him, Mitchell and Tanner, you know, on the beers, you're like,
oh, I love Tanner in this movie.
Oh yeah, I love Tanner in this movie too. He's like, this is going to be the fucking guy. It's going to be you're just doing Blofeld. Okay, fine. So.
It's so fucking abysmal. We'll get to it later.
Yeah. Moneypenny agrees to be his mole in MI6 and like accepts the like sacredness of his secret mission from M.
Yeah, the line that she gives him is like, oh, I've heard the chat. Everyone says that you're finished, and he goes, "What do you think?" And she goes, "I think you're just getting started." I wrote,
writer's strikes, more writer's strikes, please. So Tanner comes to pick Bond up to take him to Q. who is going to do a medical on him.
He has invented another tracking device.
Well, this is the thing, right? If you recall Casino Royale, right? There was a bit where Q was quite snottily like, "Oh, we don't really go in for gadgets anymore. We don't really do exploding
not
pens."
Casino fucking Royale. Skyfall.
It was
the previous movie.
It was, and within a minute,
Cutting-edge nanotechnology. Smart blood.
Smart blood.
Smart the fuck up.
Bond.
Yeah, we're injecting you with smart blood. What do you? Okay, so
Let
Casino
this in your
Royale.
shoe, cunt.
They put a microchip tracker on him, right? Easy,
Yeah.
normal. Spectre, they give him one of those little micro radios that they had in fucking
Yeah,
gold
it's called a radio.
finger.
They even fucking did a little lampshade on it.
And then
yeah.
in this one, they're like, no, we can't just give you a radio again, mate. We're going to have to inject you with smart
Also,
blood.
an exploding watch.
Yes, because this is the thing, right?
Additionally-
Bond, we don't really go in for gadgets anymore. Anyway, here's your smart blood, watch grenade, laser whip, cock ring, etc., etc.
Yeah. Here's the Aston Martin DB10, but you can't have it. But,
I'm telling
fixing
you
up
not
the
to
DB5,
steal it.
even though that was your car, whatever.
Yeah, there's a couple of things here. I wrote 3 things. I wrote just doing some normal standing with the boys. I think I will post that on the account. 'Cause
Yeah.
We're all doing the
they're all
Tory
in
PowerPoint.
stance.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah. Omega Watch, and then 009 rides again, right? Because the Aston Martin is supposed to be for 009.
Yes, yeah, the clown
Our
agent.
clown agent. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Finally
And
getting
then-
assigned to good shit.
we get a genuinely good joke, right? We get the well, I say that, but Q refers to the previous Aston Martin, you know, the one that wasn't a company car, that he's reconstructing, and he goes, not much left of that, only the steering wheel. I believe I said, bring it back in one piece, not bring back one piece. And then he has a little giggle.
Yeah, he laughs at his
And
own joke,
James-
which is very cute.
And James turns around like stony-faced, and you see both Tanner and Q are laughing at the joke, but they both go, when he doesn't.
Tanner fucking owns.
Oh.
Absolute. I mean, Tanner's my guy in this movie.
Tanner, yeah, Rory Kinnear playing Mr. also appearing
I mean,
in
the
this
thing
movie.
is, right?
Like,
the thing,
what
right,
does
is
he
that,
do?
like, Rory Kinnear as Tanner has been in, I think, every single one of the Craig
He's been
Bonds.
in all of it. He's been in as many as Gogol.
Yeah.
Still
He's just
hasn't
Mr. Still in the movie.
Yeah,
Like, what do you...
yeah, but they
Why
give
is he
him
here?
a tiny bit more to do in this one, and for this, he earns my like undying affection.
He's getting a paycheck, and I respect
Yeah.
it. You know,
Fuck it, give him a good night.
So the point of the smart blood is so to keep Bond on the leash. They know where he is at all times, so he can't leave the country and he can't pursue any more leads on his own shit. And Bond immediately undermines this by just going to Q quietly and just like, go on, would you just go on?
Just do as a solid
I
chief.
don't know
Yeah.
why Q agrees to this, but he does.
Because he
It's
likes
also
Bond,
strange-
something that had never been previously established.
They've said like
Q-
2 words to each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, Q's like to cover for him, he's like, and you'll have like about 24 hours before the signal starts working, but after that we'll be able to track you. At which point no one checks during those 24 hours, and then afterwards he just lies. So I
Yeah.
don't know
Yeah.
why he even...
He's the only check and
Agreed.
balance on this. Absolutely.
It's just Q.
Yeah.
So then, anyway, let me go to Rome.
Yeah,
to this
Bond
guy's
steals
funeral.
the car and he goes to the
Yeah,
guy's
yeah,
funeral. And I wrote down here, James, you kicked this man out of a helicopter. What do you imagine is in that coffin?
Just going to the funeral of the guy I kicked out of.
It's like 2 sandbags and a spoon of him. Like,
At least he's better behaved towards the widow than the last time he went to a Spectre member's funeral.
so it's in
that's
this kind of
fair.
like bare concrete mausoleum because for some reason the Craig movies love the aesthetic of bare concrete. They think it's austere and like modern or whatever.
I think it's cool too. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I don't dislike it. It's just a little bit of a a hallmark. So he sees the widow, who is Monica Bellucci, and to which hello.
My condolences and hello.
Yes, exactly.
You're so-
Sorry to hear this.
Really happy to hear about your husband's death.
Yeah.
I mean, she's not even particularly cut up over it.
No,
yeah,
no,
as
no.
he notes.
He knows that she's unaffected by his death, and also that she is in danger because there's some
Yeah,
heavy
she's toast.
goon presence around her. And
she knows too much.
Yeah, the back of a guy's head who Bond recognizes. And at this point, I wrote down, do you want to go after the guy that you clearly just recognized in a big, impactful way? No. Woman detected. So he goes up to Monica Bellucci and he's like, yeah, I kicked your husband out of a helicopter. Do you want to have sex with me? My name's
To which
James
she
Bond.
goes, yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I wrote 6 minutes 30.
Absolutely.
Solid.
6 minutes 30 from like being at your husband's funeral to having sex with James Bond, even.
Yeah.
They go back to her house, hitmen come, Bond saves her, and then they kiss, and my notes say, why?
Yeah, I've written fucking hell, James.
Yeah, he really puts the moves on her in a really quite dubious way.
Kind of aggressive.
It's up there with the shower from fucking Skyfall, as far as I'm concerned. It's like he's got her against a wall, and it's like
she doesn't have a way out. Like she's in a very vulnerable place. It's kind
yes.
I will say that Monica Bellucci's performance in this film, she's only in it for like 5 minutes.
Absolutely.
She's fucking incredible acting.
She's really good.
Absolutely.
Go and watch this scene. Like, it's a classic example of, like, Craig is the one who's kind of driving the scene, but she steals the show. Like,
absolutely.
Go watch this scene on YouTube. It's amazing.
And she's like, my husband, I hated him, but he was an assassin for like a very scary organization. They're gonna kill me. At this point, I wrote down, they probably want to kill her a bit less if Bond hadn't made killing her a necessity by just showing up and being like, hey, what's up? Would you like to make fuck with me? But
what happens to her later in the film? We don't know.
Well,
also,
no, we don't kill her, which is progress, I guess, because after having sex, she's like, okay, you really don't want to go and like investigate this secret organization because they're very, very frightening and deadly. But they're having a secret meeting at midnight in this palace. So if you wanted,
she tells him this before they shag. And I will note that Casino Royale Craig would have left straight away because we saw him do that very thing in Nassau.
Yeah, that's
true.
Now
he's just like, it's only 10:30. Like, I got time.
Absolutely. So she tells him where the secret meeting is. And he leaves her Felix Leiter's phone number and is like, yeah, he can like get you out and under the radar. And it's like,
he's not in this film.
No, he's not. And it's like, what kind of witness protection? Imagine fucking Monica Bellucci in Montana in witness protection. I just. But in any case, Bond drives to the secret meeting out of
which is just like 50 supercars outside.
There's a fucking Concorde d'Elegance. What he does is he drives out of Italy and into the most English country house I've ever seen. It might even be Blenheim Palace, where there is a massive fucking like parade of Bentleys and Maseratis and shit outside. And then one guy tries to stop him, right? Italian Dave Courtney enters the frame and is like
500 flat nosed ragazzi.
Yeah, he and his Cinquecento fucking flat nosed ragazzi show up and like, do you have an invite? Fuck off, we're full, no trainers. Bond flashes him the ring, and of course he is like very frightened by this and lets him in. And at this point, Bond has now infiltrated the secret meeting,
which is being held on, and I cannot stress this enough, the first floor.
Yes,
the most escapable.
It's being held on the first floor, and then there's a balcony where a bunch of guys are just watching shit transpire because like the conference table is down below.
Public meeting.
Yeah, exactly. You have
it's unbelievable because there's one specific note about this that made me go completely insane, right? Because you've got big table in the middle of the fucking hall, balconies all around, people are watching it. People on the table are discussing evil plans a la Spectre in the previous movies, where they're like, we've done the great train robbery.
Yeah.
Human trafficking they mentioned.
And this woman is speaking in fucking French And as soon as she starts speaking in French, everyone else puts in a little earpiece. So they have fucking translators like it's the UN.
Yes.
At this fucking secret meeting.
Yes. But most
Like,
importantly, not just the people participating, but
What is the setup?
there's a fucking audience of presumably other Spectre guys, right? So
Why
it's
are
like
they-
your
what's
boss,
happening?
your
Last time
boss
they did
goes
this, it
to
was in
the
an opera.
your boss goes to a meeting and he brings you and all of your colleagues to just watch him hopefully not get executed by touching a big metal plate. Like, I mean, this is clearly the metal plate scene, and I'm waiting for someone to touch their hand on the metal plate.
Someone's getting fucking
because
metal
to show
plated, I'll tell
you
that
fuck
for a
it
fact.
up.
Yeah,
They fuck it up because in the middle of this meeting, so they mention they're doing human trafficking. This comes up later. They are behind the merger between MI5 and MI6.
Mhm.
And then Blofeld, we don't know he's Blofeld yet, but he's Blofeld. He arrives, and this bit's great because everyone like stands up. Everyone's super scared.
Yeah, this
He's
is
very
good.
Yeah, this is
threatening.
good.
It's a really nice bit. But like, we need to establish why they're scared of him because he needs to dunk someone in a shark tank or kill someone, but he doesn't.
No.
Instead, we get Dave Bautista as Mongo.
Yeah, hold on. I've got an Abby drop for this one.
Mongo's here. We've got a Mongo, everybody.
Yes, a Mongo
walked
enters
in
the
and I
scene.
thought those words. I wrote that down
Yeah.
even.
Because Blofeld enters the meeting and he does have this good thing where like everybody's terrified of him and he goes like quite amusedly, "Don't let me interrupt you," and everybody has to like try and find their place again. But then a guy volunteers to take care of the Pale King, who we heard about in Mexico City.
Yeah, Sciarra was in charge of taking care of the Pale King. Sciarra's dead, right?
Yeah.
So Blofeld's like, okay, we need someone to take over Sciarra's shebang, his whole business.
Yeah,
And one guy, Mr. briefly appearing in
Mr.
this movie,
Spanish,
goes,
Mr. Guerra.
I would love to do that. To which Blofeld goes, anyone else want to challenge him for this role? And Mongo wanders in. Mongo, who has to, okay, let me. Have you ever seen Game of Thrones? Are you familiar with Game of Thrones?
Sure.
Do you remember that bit where the big guy with the thumbs in the eye, the killed the classic?
Yeah.
he did that?
Classic thumb in eye thing. Yeah.
You know how that was really good in Game of Thrones because it, I hate to say the word, but subverted your expectations,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because it's really shocking and it was done in service of driving the plot forward. What if we did it again?
But for kind of no reason.
Just what if we did it again?
Other than to establish that Dave Bautista, Earth's largest man, is physically threatening.
Yeah, the silence absolutely intentional. What if that?
Yeah.
Also, he has Mongo in this film has like metal thumbs and a weird gun, but they don't
got
show you
such-
this at all. So I didn't notice either of those things until Dev
Yeah.
brought it up in the group
I
chat.
thought he was
such a
just wearing
weird
nail
armory.
polish only on the thumbs. I didn't. I didn't get that was supposed to be like.
classic egg behavior, but like
You
go
don't.
off.
You don't even need metal thumbs to gouge a guy's eyes
No.
out. It's violent because it's easy. Like, you just get the thumbs in there. But
I mean,
like,
I did it
it's-
to get this job on the podcast. Like,
absolutely.
Yeah, that's you don't want to know who we had before.
Oh no,
They're
no,
gone.
no.
Yeah, no, because what they wanted to do is they're like, okay, it's been a while since we've had, an iconic henchman, capital I, capital
Yeah,
H,
no,
like Jaws or some
odd
shit.
job, whatever. Yeah.
So what if we had Dave Bautista playing the least challenging role anyone's ever given Dave Bautista, a man who is genuinely a phenomenal actor.
Yeah.
Do you want to know something really funny?
Act if you let him.
Do you want to know something really
Go
funny?
on.
They wanted to give this to The Rock, but they couldn't afford him.
Dude,
Oh,
suck.
God.
We. Oh god, that would have been so bad.
So this
That
guy,
would've been-
this,
Fuck me
this guy,
dead, that would have been
Yeah.
so
we get
bad.
the funniest fucking shit because Blofeld like gets on the microphone and he's like, "We got a guest in here tonight. Like, shout out to my boy in the balcony, James fucking Bond."
James
then
Bond is here
smash cut.
tonight.
Smash cut. Bond immediately jumps through a fucking window.
Bond's like, it's
So, like,
time to go.
There's also one thing, but Blofeld,
He hits
Blofeld,
the fucking bricks harder than they've ever been hit.
Blofeld makes a little like bird call noise. He's like, and he's like, "That's James Bond. Get him!" But he's not
He
even like
literally
get him.
just
He's like,
leans in. He's like, "We got a guest here tonight, ladies and
"How's
gentlemen.
it going?
James Bond."
What took you so long?" And at this point, I wrote down. So the point about the secret meeting is that it's a trap, right? If Blofeld's expecting him, he
just leaves.
But then he just leaves. He just leaves. Like, what's really funny is like there's a way to pass doing it in a palace, doing it with a shitload of people who don't need to be there, having all the cars out front as a way of like luring Bond in. And I like
UN translator crew.
I like the idea of Blofeld being like, I'm not being like too unsubtle, am I? He's not going to like see through this when he sees all the Bentleys parked outside. Yeah, exactly. But then, once he is in the trap, what Blofeld does is identify James Bond, make a bird noise at him, and make no attempt to detain him whatsoever. It is a situation of his making and entirely within his control, and Bond just leaves via a window.
This is Spectre 11 tier shit.
Meeting, he reveals his real plans.
His genuine, actual plan.
He should make up a bunch of wild shit. Just be like, yeah, we've bought Disneyland. We're behind the COVID, but just the vaccine, not the rest of it. And it is like just real. We've delayed the Xbox One. Like, just make shit up.
We've got all the PS5s.
And it's not even like, I'll tell you my plan because I'm going to kill you, because he doesn't try to kill him. Two guys shoot at him kind of lackadaisically, and he just
genuinely
leaves.
What happens is he goes, oh, we got a special boy in the audience tonight. Let's get a big shout out to James Bond. It's his birthday, everyone. And like the guy that James bluffed to get in walks up and goes, "You're nicked, son."
Yeah,
to
Dave
which James
Courtney.
fucking like judo throws him off the balcony and leaves.
Smash cut to
And you
diving
go,
through the window.
What? Gets in the car, at which point Hinks is like,
Mongo,
I guess that's my job.
Yeah,
Sorry, at which point
Hinks activates
Mongo is like,
Mongo mode, and he's like, I
guess that's my job.
gotta
Goes,
chase this guy down. Yeah.
And we get the least exciting car chase I've ever
me.
fucking seen in my life.
Do you know what the thing is, right? This movie is the Craig take on Bond is like, oh, we're gonna be a bit grittier, we're gonna reboot it for a modern age, and like it's gonna have this like arc, and it's gonna be, yeah, you know what previous Bond movies had a lot of? Comedy car chases. You know what we've been missing for a while? Comedy car chases. And so
he's getting chased by Mongo, and
Yes.
like Mongo does nothing throughout the scene. He's just also driving
he's just
the
following
car.
him.
Driver.
Yeah. He's just, it's like a chase, but he's not doing anything.
Well, he's in an Aston Martin and Mongo's in a Jaguar. Do you remember Die Another Day? I wasn't that cool. But like, yeah, he gets stuck behind a guy, and like at one point he calls Moneypenny and has a full conversation with her, and then hangs up.
It's
and
such
is like,
a
all right, back to the car
so
chase.
that just happened ass thing. Again, the Marvel is creeping in here, but yeah, no, there's a guy in a Fiat 500 listening to fucking opera who Bond has to shunt out of the way, and then we get a shot of the fucking airbag going off in his face. He like tests the gadgets that he doesn't know what they do. One of them says atmosphere. He hits that, and it goes, now playing atmosphere for 009, and starts blasting Sinatra. And I am more obsessed with the idea of a British secret agent who is super into the Rat Pack than I am with Craig
so
Fingers.
true. He loves Sinatra.
Playing Cannibal Run 2.
Going out to do some like extrajudicial assassinations and like listening to like Dean Martin in my Aston Martin is so funny. I'm obsessed with that. So
Then we also learn that
Jr.
the Pale King is Mr. White from Casino Royale, and Bond delivers the line, "Quantum, of course," and I'm like, "Of course, what?"
but they're the same thing, and they've just
I also enjoy
rebranded.
that the Pale King is a new mononym, that he's is a new code word that he's been given when they've decided that he sucks.
I saw the point.
Like he was part of
yeah.
he was part of the organization, and they just called him Mr. White, and then he went semi-rogue, and they were like, all right, this guy's called the Pale King now, and we've got to kill him.
I feel the point
Give
of
him
a code
cool
name.
We've used up that cool name on this guy who we got to kill.
The point of a code name has to be that it's not something related to their like name, right? And his previous name is Mr. White. If it had been fucking Mr. Slate who survived, would they have had to come up with like a cute name based off of that?
Yes.
So
would have.
So Bond escapes by virtue of a fucking ejector seat. Stupids. Don't care.
Yeah, we don't really go in for exploding pens anymore.
Also, Bond presumably a Catholic, based on a line in this movie and the priest hole in Skyfall. I do wonder if doing burnouts in an Aston Martin in St. Peter's Square like bothers him religiously.
I think it's actually based. I think it's good, if anything.
Cool.
I think he's cool about it.
So we see some more of the plot that C has. Andrew.
More surveillance. Yeah, whatever.
What if Edward Snowden? What if fucking
Mm-hmm.
Avengers? Yeah. So the thing is, right? This is a classic Marvel move, right? Where you want to make
shield ass.
You want to make a plot point about mass surveillance and about espionage being bad, but you also want to lionize the current existing forms of mass surveillance and intelligence. So you have to create a new thing to do that. So instead of the Five Eyes system, which is real and exists, we have the Nine Eyes system, and it can't be,
Four more eyes.
Yeah, and
so many more
and
eyes.
It can't
man.
be GCHQ or MI5 or MI6. It has to be this new thing, the fucking Committee on National Security or whatever.
Yeah, they've built a new building for it as well.
Yeah.
Even
What if spying was bad?
What if that?
And we see that like
consider.
this Nine Eyes initiative, which is going to unite global security forces and create a sort of panopticon, requires unanimous assent, but the South Africans do not want to vote for it. And C sort of twirls his moustache and goes, well, we'll see about that, won't we? M, who is also in the room,
change their mind easily.
M has fucking converted to the Lib Dems in between movies because he's now like, well, surveillance is not so good. That's democracy for you, isn't it? And it's like,
we need you to go to the swim zone.
You are the head of the British Foreign Intelligence Service.
Literally, M genuinely says to him, and this is a great line for everyone at home. He goes, "Surveillance is a fact of life.
But
it's just about who has access to those." And I'm like, no.
There's another bit further on where he goes,
watch MI6 agents.
We watch everyone.
See, you're not supposed to watch everyone. You're only supposed to
surveilling us.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
What the fuck?
Who watches the Watchmen?
Being hoisted by some kind of petard.
It's got my name on it. Bond, pay attention. This is a skills wallet.
so Bond
more of the same.
Bond
James.
finds out where the Pale King, Mr. White, is, which is in Austria, and at this point he infiltrates his like little log cabin. And I had
fucking bird.
I had a stunning realization because what Bond does is he enters an Austrian basement in order to discover a secret family.
He does this, yes.
00 Fritzl arriving on the scene.
Mr. White does have a gamer basement.
He
also,
does.
There's a line in the previous scene where M goes, he like calls Q and is like, "Yo, where's Bond right now?" Because he's just been shown by Tanner like a fucking news article about the massive car chase that happened yesterday. He's like, "That's fucking Bond. I know that's Bond." And Q's like brings up the fucking screen and it shows that he's in Austria and he goes, "Yeah, I've got him now. He's in Chelsea." And I'm like, you should have made up a funnier line, mate. You should have been like, yeah, he's in Barking and Dagenham. All right.
Is that the Tavistock Gender Identity Clinic?
Yeah. Make up somewhere embarrassing for James Bond to be. He's in a Toby Carvery in Slough.
He's at a Pizza Express in Woking.
He's on the road from Barnard Castle. So Bond goes to.
These are locations that are funny.
So Bond finds Mr. White, and Mr. White has gone gamer mode. He is disheveled.
Yes.
He has long hair. He has a beard. He lives in a basement where he has
looks like the
60
Kuma
screens. If you enter a guy's gamer basement and he has 60 screens and a light up keyboard, don't fuck him.
Or at least give it 3 years and wait for him to transition. But we find out that Mr. White it has been poisoned with like radiation in his
thallium.
because of thallium.
Yeah, they put thallium in his phone.
They need Mongo to fucking smash his eyes in. I don't know.
Why not just? Well,
he's already dead.
I guess to get to him before Bond does, but he doesn't. Bond gets there first. So yeah, Bond talks to Mr. White, and it turns out that what happens is that Mr. White has engaged in a sort of Lincoln project for Spectre, where he was just like cool with all of the previous shit, like blowing up airliners, stealing all of Bolivia's water, etc., etc.
Like mailing bathtub with a fake boyfriend.
Yeah. But now Blofeld has gone too far, and he wanted to like restore respectability and civility to the discourse.
Respectability.
It's very funny, and so Blofeld has simply poisoned him instead and given him
he was like,
mega
I
cancer.
don't like.
Yeah,
he's specifically like, I don't like all this human trafficking that's happening, and Blofeld's gone, okay, no worries at all. Anyway, take a big sip from this glass right here, please.
Yes.
Please drink this brown water.
Please touch your hand to this metal plate. Yeah.
Also, Mr. White has a daughter.
Yes, a secret daughter, a secret family. And she can like.
Oh, she's 9/11's this fucking movie.
I swear to God, like Lea Seydoux, right? A thinly cut slice of wet, cold ham dropped on this and the next movie, just squarely on top of it. So she's his daughter. Her name is Madeleine Swan. She's like living in hiding, but she can lead Bond to Blofeld. And then, all of this is being filmed because of surveillance themes.
Oh no, it's good. Mr. White says, "Find my daughter. She can lead you to l'Americain." We don't know what that is yet.
It's French for the American.
And then, he's like, "I'll protect her," and he goes, "Well, what the fuck do you mean, dude? No, you won't.
Yeah,
no, you won't. You're a British agent.
You are like 0 for 3 on this shit."
Puts a gun in the middle of a table and goes, "How about that?"
Yeah, how about that?
Which he shoots himself in the head.
Yes.
And you go, "That's a scene, baby.
That's a scene.
Ship it. Pack it up. Let's go."
Meanwhile,
let's go to next location, baby.
Next location is London because C has to give M a tour of the new Shield building. Where we learned that
you're gay because you never killed anyone.
Yeah, well, first of all, we learned that spying is good when it's not when it's the government doing it.
Good God, the government couldn't afford this kind of facility. No, it was benefactors mostly from the private sector.
Sure, Blofeld. And then basically M just kind of calls C a bitch. Like his thing is like C thinks that the 00 program is obsolete. The thing that M thought 1 movie ago. And because he thinks it's obsolete because he's a drones guy, he's a tech guy. He thinks we can automate this shit. And M gives an impassioned speech about how maybe you should kill someone yourself before you decide whether it's good or bad to kill someone yourself. Finishing
really does.
with the baffling line.
A license to kill is also a license not to kill.
Those writers come back yet?
I mean,
they're on their way. I swear to God, they're on the train right now. They're coming. I'll get here any minute.
I think a lot about how in 1 movie ago, new M, Gareth Mallory, was like characterized as a lieutenant colonel in the Special Air Service in Northern Ireland, who operated a shoot-to-kill policy for many years.
Any of those motherfuckers ever make the license? They didn't have a license. That's the thing.
No.
They had no choice but to kill.
Yeah, that's the thing. We're giving you a license to like use your discretion to kill, which is good because when I was in the SAS, we used to just like open up on pre-planned ambushes on Toyota Hiaces full of suspected IRA men and occasionally kill some people who just got in the crossfire. And therefore, as a consequence, it's good that we have the 00 section because James Bond.
I'm going to start applying this to other things. I'll be like, a license to drive is also a license to take the tube. A gender recognition certificate is also a certificate to not recognize your gender. What?
So Bond has to go to a strange clinic for the 3rd time in his life, and
on top of a mountain again.
Yes. I have a drop for this.
I'll be glad to get my feet on the ground.
Not ground. Ice.
Classic times.
Goes to the fucking Piz Gloria, which is
where Lena Seydoux has been fucking hiding out in this entirely glass clinic on a mountain.
Yes. Using the same alias, Dr. Madeleine Swan.
Using her name.
And so she invites Bond in. Bond is there under the pretext of a psychiatric evaluation, and so she asks him, you know, do you wear a dress when you jack off? I also wrote down.
Do you imagine yourself?
Do 10 to 15 minutes of gender psychiatrist bits, because I understand us as friends and us as a podcast.
Yes.
And also, like, on a serious note, like, what Alice and I have actually been through in real life.
Yeah.
That bit on the last episode was not a joke. Just want to flag that.
No, absolutely.
We had to. I had to pay to be asked those questions.
Oh, I got it for free, but I had to wait 2 years. So yeah, she asks him about jerking off, and like again, this is kind of a thing, right? This doing a psychiatric psychological evaluation of James Bond is potentially an interesting idea as a way of doing some characterization. It was an interesting idea when they did it last movie.
Yeah, in Skyfall 1.
Yes. You don't need to do it again. He's an empty guy who like lives for killing and doesn't think he can do anything else. And then Lea Seydoux, the flattest actor in fucking history, is the one who is over the course of the rest of this movie going to make him realize, what if I don't have to just do this forever? Stupid. So
anyway, he's like, "Yo, your dad's dead. Can you help me find an account?" He's
like,
"Hey,
he
dad's
has a line
dead."
where he like talks about her fucking like education history and is like, "Tell me, how come someone who has ends up in a place like this?" To which I wrote, "As a highly paid psychological analysis in a fully glass house
the
on a
really
mountain."
funny thing is
I think
that,
she's
like,
fucking made it,
just
brother. What do you mean?
Just because of like how Bond is written and who he is, it's delivered in exactly the same tone and cadence as.
Oh, we can't all be geniuses, can we?
Oh,
Tell me, does the toppling of American missiles really compensate for having no hands?
Does being a highly paid psychiatrist really compensate for having a dead dad who I killed? To which she offers the only cogent response to James Bond: "Get out of my office."
Yeah. At which point Q is there. He's like, "Yo, I'm in the film, James." Bond's like, "Yo, I got this ring off a guy I kicked out of a helicopter. Do some science shit." And then Bond sees Swan being kidnapped by Mongo.
Yes.
Yeah, we get so. James goes to the bar and he's like, "Vodka martini." Like, "No, we've only got
gay drinks.
Yes,
we've only
bar.
got gay shit like vitamins."
Double enema, that should fix you up.
Yeah.
It's just a series of things fucking happen here. I like Q's sweater in this.
There's two things I like, right? One is Q's sweater. The other is he beats up the security guards who are like the clinic security guards who are like incidental to him finding the Spectre guys to go and beat up. And there's a bit where he like punches the first one unconscious. The second one comes at him and he just goes like, "No, stay." I like that a lot.
He's
just simply opt out of this fight scene.
I like that.
He uses
you can hit the bricks.
He's got a very high persuade skill.
Absolutely. He uses agony on this guy, and he's just like, "No."
He uses intimidate.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, and he goes, "All right,
all right, fair enough."
He's like, "I'm not paid enough for that. Don't worry, mate."
Yeah.
Best of luck with your roaring rampage of revenge.
Bond chases Mongo in a plane.
And this chase scene is so fucking stupid.
There's a long scene.
Q's being chased by some goons, and I think, that's interesting. Like, is Q gonna get to do? No, he hides in some cupboards.
Yeah, Q gets in a chairlift, and then like sitting across from him is the world's most "I am an assassin" guy ever.
Yeah, he gives him a little smile, like, "I am gonna kill you now," and then Q just escapes.
Yeah, Q hits the bricks.
Oh, also, I did have a drop. I did have a drop from when Q was in the fucking bar with Bond, which is simply
my balls for Christmas decoration.
Balls, Q.
Just enjoy that in your own time.
Sort of a lot happening there.
Bond rescues Swan, crashes the car. Mongo's still alive.
Yeah, he gets thrown out of the car, knocked unconscious, and it's like, dude, just fucking like take his stupid little double-barreled pistol.
Yeah, let's talk about Mongo's other gun.
Yes.
Right, let's talk about Mongo has an armory in this, but they didn't bother to draw attention to it, so you just have to go frame by frame to see he's got the weirdest weapons on God's earth. So he's got iron thumbs, and he has a two guns glued together.
It's an Arsenal Firearms prismatic. And Arsenal Firearms is this kind of like niche boutique nerd shit firearms manufacturer of people too much money.
Firearms.
Yeah, exactly. Well, they just fucking weld two 1911 side by side. So he just has one of those. But yeah, no. So he fucking gets knocked unconscious. Bond just leaves
still
him.
alive.
Yeah.
Then we go back to the hotel room, and Q is like, "I've analyzed the ring, and it has
I've taken a look
DNA
at this
on it
ring.
from Le Chiffre, Mr. White, Dominic Green, Silver, and the guy who we think is called Franz Oberhauser. We don't yet know he's Blofeld. And I've written, Spectre really need to start washing their rings."
Yeah, they're all doing big cums all over
really
it. Yeah.
Explain this scene at all. They're like, yeah, I've had a gander at this ring.
When you get into Spectre,
and I now know everything.
My laptop, by the way, which can do this.
When you get into Spectre, everybody else has to lick your ring just before you get it.
Oh, no, that's a fucking organization.
Oh, and Madeleine's, they're like, "Oh, it's a secret organization." And Madeleine Swan's like, "It's called Spectre." And we go, "Spectre?
Spectre?
Spectre.
Also,
it was called Quantum.
There's been a bombing in Cape Town in South Africa.
Interesting.
And he was like, "Bond, you have to find l'American. And he's our only lead." And Madeleine's like, in the most predictable bit of writing twist ever, she's like, "L'American is not a man. It's a place."
All of her lines are delivered like this, just like really kind of like
smash cut to Tangier, like
Bond, you have to go to next location.
Says, fuck, it's yellow again.
They put the yellow mode on.
There's two filters in this movie, blue and yellow. Very smart, everyone. And they literally just swap between them based on ambient temperature of country. Yeah, get a combo.
Oh, also, we do find out in the course of the laptop scene that Franz Oberhauer was like James Bond's adoptive father's biological son, right? His Bond was adopted after his parents died in a climbing accident.
He's Bond's stepbro.
Yeah, exactly.
What are you doing? I've taken over the world.
What is James's fucking biography in these goddamn movies? Because in the first one, they're like, he's an orphan.
Yeah,
and like,
you're an outsider,
like, cool,
James,
fine,
because you were raised by an Austrian man.
And then in the previous one, they were like, okay, but you did live in Wayne Manor. And then this one's like, also, you were adopted.
After that, you were adopted by an Austrian man.
By a different, by other people.
Yeah, you were taught to shoot by a ghillie, adopted by an Austrian man, and then you were like, I don't know.
Your mum was in the Spetsnaz, James. What are you like? Fuck off. There's no. None of this makes sense.
The Vesper trauma was good enough. You don't need to keep adding shit.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So they go to l'American.
The best thing about backstory is you don't actually have to show it. You can just be like, remember when this happened to you, James?
Which is
goes, yes,
which is a hotel in Tangier. And incidentally, Dr. Swan, by this point, who has been kidnapped from work, like the middle of a work day, and then immediately gotten on a plane to Tangier, has like a different outfit just for Tangier.
Yeah, she's changed. It's great.
Madeleine has fully gone off one glass of red wine.
Yeah, she gets drunk.
HRT does do that to you.
Yeah, it happens to the best of us. Maddie just fully goes off. Interesting. James,
I won't have sex with you, James Bond.
Reasonable.
She goes, James, I'm actually going to be in the rest of this movie, so I won't have sex with you yet, James.
Yes.
And James finds out that there's a big hole in the wall.
Yeah, we enter the third thing that I like in this movie, which is Bond just gets drunk, because he can't have sex with her, and he sees a mouse, and he draws his gun on the mouse, and he's like, "Who sent you?" Which I found very amusing.
I did enjoy that. That was very cute.
Bond's little like private joke to himself is very funny, but he follows that mouse behind a false wall and finds that Mr. White has a sort of like war room prepared.
He's got a second gamer basement.
Yes, a second gamer basement, which is entirely geared towards killing Blofeld. And we see hey James, remember when that thing happened? So we see him find the VHS tape of Vesper being tortured in Casino Royale, which is quite a fucking heavy thing to drop on us. And he's just like, oh, yep, not watching that, which is a good mental health decision. Well done, James.
Yeah.
Absolutely, that's called self-care.
Mr. White putting a content warning on at the start.
Yeah. God. So okay.
Fucking happens. Is he on a train?
Yeah, he has to work out that they're fucking in the middle of nowhere in southern Morocco, I think. No, Algeria, maybe. I don't remember.
Yeah, somewhere like that.
Within the Sahara.
Desert zone.
Yeah. And they have to get a train down there. Meanwhile, back in London, because all of this shit is being woven together.
Seamless. It's actually so good.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
The Nine Eyes vote passes. The 00 program's closed. M, Q, and Moneypenny are like, oh, James is he's in Africa, but no, we can't do anything. He's on his own.
Yeah, because of the omnipresent surveillance, which is now bad. The more we try and help him, the less it benefits him because we're just feeding Blofeld information on him.
They're like, it is time for us to stop being in this movie for the next 45 minutes. And I went, thank you so much.
Bond tries to teach Madeleine Swan to use a gun, and she already knows.
This is the thing, right? She doesn't have to be taught anything because Mr. White has already taught her to like fend for herself. This is not something that the movie will live up to at all.
Ever again.
She's like supposed to be capable because that's girl boss and feminism. This doesn't.
Too capable, not more capable than a man.
She gives a little backstory that we'll explore in more detail in her fucking No Time to Die. But she's like, yes, when I was a little girl, someone came to my house to kill my father, and I didn't realize I also had a gun.
Wasted.
I was like, that's cool.
Yeah,
wasted. Absolutely shot that bitch.
Fucked up in the water. Is it very into
That's weird ass mask. Looks like Rami Malek.
My notes say James Bond loves to fall in love with women in the diner car of a train.
He does.
Also,
to be fair, where else would you?
He is dressed in a white dinner jacket with a red carnation, like Sean Connery, and he looks like a fucking dipshit.
So there's two things right here. The wardrobe director of this movie claims that this is an allusion to Casablanca, which, if so, stupid. Nothing to do with each other. I prefer to think of it as the triumph of the same guy, right?
I wrote this in the group
because
chat.
This is
the moment he truly became same guy.
Complete with a nonce line, because she comes out in this admittedly very nice looking dress, right?
Oh, I remember this fucking line.
And here's the fucking line.
You shouldn't stay.
Well, you shouldn't look like that.
You shouldn't look like that. Nonce.
Sorry.
Shit.
I hate to say it. It's taken us this long to finally do it, but I'm pointing at Daniel Craig James Bond in this moment and saying nonce.
Well, that's
the thing is, like, it upsets me that before I transitioned, I had better lines than James Bond.
Well, the thing is, right, Craig Fingersuck had better lines, and one of his moves was sucking on a woman's fingers in the shower. They were still better than this, but this is the thing, right? He's been replaced by the same guy.
Spectre, or the assassination of Craig Fingersuck by the coward. That's
right. And then at this point, right, she romances him.
While I remember,
she has to become the second great love in James Bond's life by simply telling him, James, you don't have to do your shitty job that you hate forever.
It's like she literally is like,
James.
James, there's another way. She's like, James, it doesn't always have to come down to violence. And he goes, you're right. And then immediately Mr. Hinks kicks the table into her face.
Yes. Yeah, off the top rope,
and, like,
Dave
completely
Bautista
knocks her the fuck down.
She does get Bautista bombed.
Wasted. Ethered.
The thing is, right?
Literally
incorrect.
She's just killed instantly. She's not even killed, she's knocked unconscious, but it looks that way.
She gets put through the wasted.
This reminds me of the last time a big guy attacked me in a train when I was the same guy.
Yeah, and the other last time when a big guy attacked me on a train when I was the same guy. Also,
shit, there's so many times he's been attacked.
But like her acting, right? It's so flat that it doesn't sell it at all. Daniel Craig's trying his best, but she's just like, you don't have to be miserable forever. You could transition. It's called estradiol. I will write you a prescription. And Daniel Craig is like, this is the most emotive thing I've ever heard in my life. I'm barely keeping it together.
She could just write in the recommendation.
Absolutely.
We can get this on the fucking go.
Sorry, no, you need two, actually.
She could write a second one and sign it a different name, whatever.
That's true.
You could do anything.
Dr. Madeleine Swan with one N.
There's no such thing as laws.
Absolutely. So at this point, she gets Bautista bombed.
She does, yeah. She just loses, like, she gets completely removed from the runtime for the next few minutes.
Back in London, C sort of gloats with M a little bit, and we get some extremely normal walking to follow our extremely normal standing. They walk down a corridor and talk, and the walking fucking, like...
Walking is awful.
I understand M's thing because his trouser braces are halfway up to his fucking ovaries, but, like, what's C's excuse?
Gareth is emoting angrily while walking.
No, the reason I think I know the reason is that the camera is in front of them on wheels, and if they walk at a normal speed, they will collide with the camera. So they kind of have to walk at a slightly weird pace because there's a guy going backwards on a trolley in front of them.
So Moneypenny, M, and Q have to go rogue. Meanwhile, Bond is fighting Mongo on the train. What's Mongo's one thing for hand-to-hand combat we've seen him use? Does he have the thumbs?
The nails?
Does he have the thumbs? No, he doesn't have fucking have the thumbs.
He just didn't bring the thumbs today.
Forgot my fucking nail glue. The eternal lament of the femme.
Fist on this one.
And so he can't fucking gouge Bond's eyes out. And then the way that, like, he's too large for Bond to beat him. And so, much like the last guy who was too large for Bond to fight on a train, the way he has to do it is to, like, get a rope around his neck and then throw him off the train using that. And Mongo gets his only line in the movie, which is when he realizes this is about to happen to him, and he just goes, shit. Fine.
And I didn't mind that. I also quite liked the choice for there to not be any music during this fight, just the sound of the train. I quite liked that. My only other note is, Dave's fucking huge, hey?
Oh, big guy.
They did that in fucking From Russia
I know
with
they did
Love.
it fucking before. I know it's a direct illusion, and it says as much when you move the mouse on Amazon. It comes up on the side saying, this is a direct illusion. And I'm like, yeah, I get it. It's the same guy.
The thing about doing illusions is you've got to have like a movie to do that. It can't all be illusions.
No,
it's all illusions.
It's like this is what this movie is. It's like a collapse of the text, right? And into like just references. Because
this is an allusion to Spectre. He's actually fine, even though the last time we saw Blofeld, he was tossed down a fucking smokestack.
Yeah.
That's right.
This is like if we did an episode that was all drops.
That's right. So
yeah, which we're building to.
So Bond and Madeleine get out of the train at Blofeld stop, and rather nicely, he sends a Rolls Royce for them. And I mean, this is just when I was the same guy. All of the other times when I was the same guy, when the guy was like, "Welcome to my secret base. Please leave your loaded gun with me, my butler, and I'll fucking like show you."
Put on this dress.
I just wrote, "Welcome to next location,
Bond. Please put on this dress." I would like it if a villain if a villain took Bond to the secret location, and in Bond's room on the bed is like a dress picked out for him.
Yeah,
that'd be so good with the heels as well.
Only Silver would have had the balls to pull this off.
Legitimately. All right, that's our plan if we ever get Bond.
Yeah. Just put in the wrong rooms, and then Madeleine's coming out wearing this really oversized suit. Like, I think something's gone wrong. We're too scared to say it.
Captured Bond and made him wear the maid outfit. Yeah.
He's like done the makeup himself. He's like, did he bring that?
Yeah.
Also,
I didn't leave that out for you.
Their rooms where they're being held captive.
Those your panties?
have photos for psychological warfare. So for Madeleine, it's like her and her dad, and for Bond, it's like him, his adoptive dad, and Blofeld. And then
at this point, I wrote yes.
We're building.
Do it.
We're building to it
because
an hour 41.
I know it's coming.
An hour 41. We're finally about to start the movie. So fucking.
It takes place over the course of 10 minutes. This fucking movie.
Yeah. So Blofeld invites them into a room with a cool rock in it.
Yeah. They're running out of things to do an evil speech about, basically.
Yeah.
So he's just like ad-libbing it based on what's in the room. They walk in there and there's just like a meteorite in the middle, and it's like, Mr. Bond, check this shit out.
It's an unstoppable force, Mr. Bond, much like me.
It's a lot like me or you in that it hit the Earth. It was in space alone for a long time, and then it came to, and then
we also get the first of the weirdly sexual Blofeld lines, of which there are a few, where he just goes,
"Touch it. You can touch it if you want."
Yes. Actually, I'm just
stress, Mr. Bond.
I'm just gonna hit you with the rest of them while I'm at it.
So, James, why did you come?
So, James, I'm going to penetrate. You came across me so many times.
It's weird. It's weird that
waste of Christoph Waltz this whole fucking movie.
So many.
Also, every one of his lines starts with "So James."
So James. Yeah. So he reveals himself.
Like he's fucking Hannibal Lecter.
He's got the fucking like Nehru jacket, and he's
Tell me, Will.
"So James, it's me, your brother, stepbrother. Now you've seen my cool rock. Do you want to come and see my gamer room? Do you want to come and see my LAN party?" And
it's just so trite.
And so he
I wrote, Mr. Bond, welcome to my dude room.
yeah, he just has a room full of dudes on screens.
So good.
Sure.
And the meteorite, by the way, the point of it is it's the meteorite that made the crater that the base is built in.
Don't care.
So he thinks it's cool.
Plus ratio,
whatever.
plus L, plus no bitches. So yeah,
Don't do it to me. It's just
no, I was doing it to Blofeld. So
thank you. By Christ.
The dude room is like Blofeld's surveillance center where he is manipulating events by spying on everybody. He's got a little iPad and he plays the video from the camera that we mentioned earlier of Mr. White killing himself to Madeleine and Bond has to try and like get Madeleine not to watch it by being like, look at me, this guy you met an hour ago.
It's kind of like the actors are doing their best, man. They're trying so hard, but there's nothing here.
No.
There's nothing. It's like Blofeld is stood in the middle of this room with the two of them being like, James, it's all me, baby. I did it all.
I fucking hate this bit because
do you want to go off here?
I want to fucking
I want to
go off. I want to go off on this because what Blofeld does is he has to tie it all together, right?
God, he does.
And so what he says is all of it was me. It's all been me. Every movie, Casino Royale, the guy whipping your dick and balls with a knotted rope, that was me. The guy who said quantum weird, that was also me. The guy with the fucked up teeth, that was me. It's all been me all along, the whole time, James. It's been me, your evil brother. And then he fucking delivers this line.
The author of all your pain.
All your pain.
First of all, accent going a bit weird, bit sort of Essex hairdresser in the last bit. The author of all your pain. But yeah.
What's the bollocks? You've quite clearly made this up after the last film.
Yes. Why? How?
The author of all your
how
pain,
are you
James?
the author of all of his pain? Why are you the author?
I did it all of it, every movie, baby. Even when you were the same guy,
yeah,
it was all me.
Yeah,
I hate Blofeld as a fucking villain so much. He's literally never been interesting
like,
in any movie.
The only way you can make Blofeld less interesting to me is to make him his secret brother, and that's what they fucking do.
Which is like genuinely the twist from the end of Goldmember, where Dr. Evil and Austin Powers were revealed to be stepbrothers, and like they did that as a bit years before.
We're not so different, you and I.
What if this
James
was normal and real?
Yeah.
What if we did this unironically?
Oh, it just sucks, dude. I manipulated a bisexual Mexican guy into killing your mum. I had a woman covered in oil for some reason. I
remember Strawberry Fields.
Remember Strawberry Fields? That was me. That was me.
The author of all your pain.
All your pain. Yeah, man, you didn't do shit.
They should have had Bond call it. Should have had Bond go, bollocks, no you weren't.
No, you fucking
weren't. This was coincidence.
It was all him. He was the man behind the man behind the man. It was like all along. He was
the author of all your pain.
He was the one who made Mitchell go rogue. Yeah, anyway.
That's the worst bit.
Yeah, so it's now time.
The fucking brain drill machine.
Yeah,
he's the guy who keeps taking all the lines away from Tanner.
Remember, the author of none of Tanner's lines.
Tanner once again checking his scripts and just seeing stage direction present, and he's like, "Oh, for fuck's." So remember the line from Casino Royale?
I never understood all these elaborate tortures.
I found that whipping your cock and balls with a knotted rope was always perfectly sufficient.
I never understood all of these elaborate tortures. However,
the author of all your pain,
fucking loves them.
Loves that shit. He's going to strap you to a fucking robot dentist chair and drill into the side of your head to try and give you brain diseases.
My notes at this point are just saying this is so fucking funny. Because none of this is real.
The NHS really will do anything except let you transition. Also, there's a white cat there, and then he's drilling Bond's brain, and Bond's like, you're a dick, Franz, and he's like, actually, my name's Stavro Blofeld. I changed it when I killed my father.
I killed my dad, and the reason why I was calling you a is because you're like a cuckoo egg. You like displaced me from the love of my father. Therefore, I had no choice but to kill him in an avalanche, become an evil genius, kill that woman with some oil, become the author of all your pain, and now just start drilling.
I have no choice but to become the author of all your pain.
It was in this moment he truly became the author of all your pain.
What a fucking waste of this goddamn actor, man.
And then, like,
Jesus.
So his thing is he's gonna do neurosurgery on Bond, but evil. So he's gonna make him forget Madeleine Swan's face and confuse her with Vesper Lind. He's gonna give him face blindness.
Have.
Yeah, she looks like a sullen 12-year-old to me. I have no interest.
Yeah, you're right. It is worth noting that also during the train. During part of this scene, Madeleine tells him that she loves him, and I go, "Why?"
She, the woman who like doesn't need to be taught anything and can defend herself,
like 3 days ago,
is like
from her job,
sitting totally unrestrained in a chair, just like, "Oh, don't do that."
Please don't drill into my boyfriend's skull. I'm not going to get up. I'll be honest. I'm going to sit here. But
I'm going to sit here with this weird thing where I have like my ankles apart and my knees together, because it makes me look more vulnerable.
Yeah, because I really have to pee.
Yeah, exactly.
I actually busted for a piss, but Blofeld's doing his torture shit.
So
and he won't let me go.
So Bond has his gadget watch. Remember? Now.
Yeah, we don't really go into exploding pens.
Q hasn't told him that it does this, or he's only alluded to it. He's only said the alarm's quite loud, which in this case, Bond
blew himself up.
Yeah, if it just went off as like a loud alarm and Q had not been being elusive at all, that would have been very funny. But no,
or even better, at 6 a.m. on morning, Bond just fucking blows his own fingers off.
So Bond correctly identifies that this is a bomb, unstraps it from his wrist while his head is being drilled into, and then as his eyes are about to be drilled out, because I guess Blofeld's just inspired by Mongo there.
It's Blofeld's just bored at this point.
Yeah, he has Madeleine throw the watch at Blofeld, blowing him up and giving him a cool scar down one eye.
Facial disfigurement, baby!
He already had a slight facial scar, but they were just like, let's dial this boy up.
Facial disfigurement.
So then they escape. There's like they do the biggest explosion ever on camera or something
for no reason.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk
about
the
about to go
biggest explosion.
Yes.
Hello.
Please.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
Fucking. This was at the time the Guinness World Record for the largest explosion in film history. Right? They used 2,223 gallons of fuel, 72 pounds of fucking explosive, and it looks like fucking shit because they had one shot at it. However, they had to film it it's framed right. Literally, our two main characters are just talking to each other, and in the background is it, and then they just turn to watch it at like a 45-degree angle as it blows up. And
they may as well be doing the soy point at it. Like,
and it does nothing. No, it's awful.
There was no reason for any of this shit to blow up, really.
They just wanted it to be the biggest one ever.
And then James
Bond making it cool instead.
James Bond says it's not over yet, which, to be honest, in the context of this film, sounds like a fucking threat because there's still half an hour left.
It keeps going.
It keeps going.
It keeps going.
It keeps going. So M is leading the Super Friends, who now are like all that's left of MI6, the B team, to a safe house.
Yeah, Bond teleports.
There. Yes.
They never show him getting onto planes, do they? They're just
and they're like, we have
one time to make an advert.
We have like
airlines.
We have like 3 hours to stop the Omni surveillance system from going live. Blofeld, we still think is dead at this point, so it wouldn't even matter. But we have like
personally, I think every time we cut back to London, they should play London Calling again.
Fuck you.
Do like a big, literally every time we cut back.
Oh my god. So I
amuse myself, and that's all that's important.
We can't turn off the thing once it's on, so we have to like kill or arrest C and like have Q hack into the fucking thing. They all agree to do this, and then as they're about to get in the car to do this, Madeleine's like, I don't want to do this spy shit with you, and you shouldn't either. Once, you should stop doing this, James. You should get out of the game. You should become normal. To which,
No.
Yeah, James is like, no, but I understand.
No, you should leave, actually.
You can leave,
Bye.
but I won't go with you. Bye. She leaves, immediately gets kidnapped.
He said he loved me, but I don't have anything to say about that.
Yeah, bye. She like, again,
Doodles.
I'll text you.
I don't need to I don't need to
bro.
teach you anything. This woman has been kidnapped twice in one movie. So
And it's about to
90%
be
of
again.
her screen time kidnapped.
yes.
So it gets kidnapped 3 times in the same fucking film.
I swear to fucking God. Okay, so
Jesus
M
Christ.
is driving Bond to the new Evil Shield building when they are ambushed. M escapes by teleporting, which is a skill they teach you in the SAS. But Bond gets black bagged by some goons, and then they take him to a second location. He's still like hooded. He's still zip tied. And then as they're like, get him in the building, he shoots both of them, takes the hood and the zip ties off, right?
Yeah, sure.
Enters the location, which is the MI6 building. And
the blown up MI6 building that's
on
currently
the wall
condemned.
is the wall of like dead agents, the one that M had Silver's name taken off of. And spray painted on there is James Bond with an arrow. And it's like, then why did you blindfold him?
Yeah, you must have been counting on him to get out of this at just the right moment.
Do you just send the two guys you dislike most to capture him, and just assume
the author of all of their misfortunes also?
Yeah, as the author of all their pain, and
so he goes through.
I knew he would shoot them with a gun. Yeah, he goes through the Joker gauntlet. This literally all just to fuck with him. I don't know why any of this.
A bunch of targets that with his face on it, which again he wouldn't have been able to see if it was. M confronts C. C's like, I hate democracy. Actually,
yeah, and M stands for moron.
Yeah, the most insane, the worst.
The writers are just minutes away, guys. They just texted me.
Fucking line of
but then we get what sounds like it's going to be a good line because C goes to shoot M and like M does the classic "I've already unloaded your gun" and then put the gun back for some reason.
Love to do that, yeah.
But then M goes, I guess C stands for careless, and I my notes say cunt.
Yes. Yeah, I thought we were gonna get it on screen. What he does is like, yeah, he C puts the gun on him. He's like, M must stand for moronic.
I've
and
got
M,
the line. I'd love to read it if
please.
So C, this is C's fucking final speech, right? This is his like the 2.5-hour movie building to this, and he goes, "Take a look at the world, chaos, because people like you, paper pushers and politicians, are too spineless to do what needs to be done.
He was in the SAS.
So I made an alliance to put the power where it should be. And now you want to throw that away for the sake of democracy, whatever the hell that is. How predictably moronic. But then, isn't that what M stands for? Moron. And it goes to shoot M, which is the worst line you could possibly get shot after hearing. Yeah. Squeezes the trigger, realizes the gun isn't loaded, and M goes, and now we know what C stands for.
Cunt.
Careless. And I'm like, neither of you have done anything.
I would respect this movie.
Writers?
I would respect this movie more if they had not included the line "careless" and had just left it as an illusion.
Why wouldn't they?
Yeah, I think they should have done. Yeah. C falls to his death off the fucking tower.
Yeah, what's really funny is that like he falls to his death so as to absolve M of having to kill him, right? And then
M doesn't even kill him.
He falls like 4 stories, lands on concrete.
There's also a license to kill.
And then in my favorite Tanner moment across every Bond movie, M gets to ground level where C is, where Tanner is performing first aid in the form of checking the guy's pulse on his neck, and he just goes, dead. Yeah, mate, you don't say.
Tanner!
I fucking love you, Tanner.
Hand, ladies and gentlemen.
So the Super Friends assemble to look at the MI6 building on the other side of the river, which has been condemned since Silver like blew it up partially. It's now about to be demolished. It's filled with explosives. And where Bond works his way through only to find Blofeld is alive And at this point,
more facially disfigured.
My notes, I've written down here, "Ooh, I'm the Riddler, cunt."
I'm the author of all your pain, James.
And I'm writing a new chapter because
written a bit more pain for you.
And he goes, "I've set a shitload of bombs in the building, and you have 3 minutes. You can either go and find Madeleine, who I kidnapped." And die with her, or you can escape and live with the pain.
Yeah, he goes, riddle me this, Bond man. What is a cuckoo clock? What about Lena Sado? How about her? She's in the building. Or is she? You'll have to check. To which James goes, all right.
We've got to fucking get through it. So Bond finds Madeleine and escapes. MI6 blows up.
Yeah,
Bond
M and the other guys get very weepy about the MI6 building, which is very this fucking modernist ziggurat where we planned so many fucking extraordinary renditions, and you're like,
hey, hard to not be sentimental. That's right by where the Trash Future Live shows are.
Absolutely. It's right across the river. Actually, you just go to Vauxhall Comedy Club. So
it's not even it's right.
Remember the time with all that piss money? Anyway. Bond gets on a boat and drives up the river.
The boat from Tomorrow Never Dies, when he was the same guy, because Blofeld is escaping by helicopter. He shoots.
And Bond shoots the helicopter down with a handgun.
Yeah, with a pistol. It lands on Westminster Bridge. Blofeld is trapped in it for a second because the emergency exit doesn't work, and it gets stuck in a way it's designed not to do. Also, what's really funny is as the helicopter's crashing, we get a bunch of shots of Blofeld in there looking scared, and it's he's scared of being in a helicopter crash because he's gay and a pussy.
To be fair, the last time Blofeld was anywhere near a helicopter, it dropped him down a chimney.
That's true.
Yeah, he was in a wheelchair and he got dropped down a chimney.
So the counter-terrorism police or whatever seal off the bridge, and M fucking Bond chases him onto the bridge with a gun. M goes to the police cordon and he's like, "Hi, I'm Gareth Mallory. Some call me M. I'm the head of the 00 section of MI6. It's a very secret organization, but you should know exactly who I am. And let me through."
He goes, "Mallory," and they go, "Yeah, all right.
Yeah, all right, fine.
Go on then, dickhead."
Me, Gareth.
They let him onto the bridge, and then they let James onto the bridge. But what they also let onto the bridge is Madeleine Swan, also just on the bridge.
Yeah, she just said Mallory as well.
And then you get
it's the
Baby's
fucking
first
Mass Effect
scene.
ending. It's the Mass Effect ending.
You get Baby's first scene where it's Blofeld is on the floor. He's in the fucking, I've spilled all of my milkshake, looking up at Bond, like that fucking Pepe. Bond stood over him with a gun. One side of the bridge is Gareth Mallory. The other side of the bridge is a woman he met 2 minutes ago. And he goes, "It's time to retire again, baby."
Yep.
Time to retire for the 5th time.
Time to do it. I'm going to walk to this side of the bridge rather than the other, which means I'm making a choice.
It's such a fight. It's such a Mass Effect fucking ending. You're so right.
And then he gets the DB5.
This is another Marvel thing, right? It's very nearly. I mean, it happens before the end credits. So it's basically a post-credits thing of Q is back at work and Bond stops by to grab the DB5 ahead of No Time to Die, and that's the fucking movie. 2.5 hours, and we got it down to 1:26. And this was a horrible experience. We have a way of codifying horrible experiences on this podcast. We call it this.
Before we do, I will make this quick, but this is my fucking thesis for this film.
Please.
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
This film is about the Labour Party because Skyfall is the fucking Jeremy Corbyn era where, it's not perfect and, it's marred by having to compromise with the legacy of what came before, but it's, still trying for the first half and then gets fucking knackered. But then this film, it looks very pretty, but this is fucking Starmer years. It's not about anything.
Spectre.
It's not about anything. At least the other 3 movies had themes that were trying to do.
It's not about anything.
Skyfall at least started with some themes, but this, I hate these films, the Craig ones now, because they made me care about James Bond. At least at the end of Quantum, I was like, I hope that Craig Fingersuck does.
Yeah, Craig Fingersuck is dead. No more Craig
Craig
Fingersuck.
Fingersuck has been murdered by same guy.
It's about the
It's
same
got
guy.
No themes. It's just like, isn't this pretty? And do you remember this? Fuck off.
And the second great love of James Bond's life, and the woman who like gives him permission to like reject the fucking little Royal Dalton dog that he got from his mum at the end of the last movie, that, you know, made him want to be in British service forever, is just this sort of like petulant child-looking woman who just delivers every line like, "James, you have to not despise now."
James, what if you didn't kill anyone?
James.
Should have been Vesper. Should have been Mitchell even. Who gives a fuck? Should have been Tanner. Whatever.
Yeah, Tanner, running away with Tanner would have been a better setup for No Time to Die.
Genuinely. That would have been good.
Yeah, Tanner, who has been following James Bond's career the whole time, has been loving him from a distance. Yeah, no, anyway, we have a system.
I think if it was anyone else, I wouldn't, but I just genuinely really like Rory Kinnear.
Yeah,
he's just good.
It's called the Scum system.
We do have a system.
It's for, what is it for?
SMARM.
Cultural insensitivity. Unprovoked violence. And misogyny. So, SMARM. Where's the SMARM? I mean, we have some. We have the, like, little banter with Moneypenny, all the, like, so that just happened lines.
To me, S is becoming less SMARM and more same guy.
I mean, you're right.
We started out don't worry. I'm going somewhere with this. I don't want to actually change the system.
Okay.
But we started out quite low SMARM with Daniel Craig, and it's only going up as he becomes more and more subsumed by same guy.
Yeah, you're right.
And for that, it is the highest I think it's ever been for a Craig movie.
Yes. Yeah. Also, there's no sincerity, which is what counteracts the SMARM. The last one was a 3. How do we feel about a 3 or a 4?
I could go to a 4. I could quite comfortably go to a 4. Now,
cultural insensitivity?
Yellow filter. The yellow filter.
Yellow filter.
What do Mexico and Tunisia have in common? They're both very yellow. I mean, I struggle to think of much else, to be honest. It's like it slanders Mexican law enforcement. So, like, 2.
Like, let's be honest, there's less of an opportunity these days to do the cultural insensitivity, because in the previous ones it would be like Bond goes to India.
But at least now we finally found out what N stood for.
No.
2? Yeah, that's what it stands for.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 works.
2, sure.
Unprovoked violence.
I want to give it a point. I want to give it a point for attacking the helicopter.
Yeah, you kicked a guy out of the
genuinely respect.
I think it's getting 2 for that scene.
Getting into a helicopter, punching the pilot one as your opening gambit.
Absolutely. I think all the other violence is like pretty provoked. Plus, he actively exercises an opportunity to refuse the use of violence when he like tells the security guard not to fight him, which I think should help.
I do like that.
That's true. That is true. There's kind of a foolish moment, because when those hitmen come to kill Monica Bellucci, he kills them, and I feel like you should have interrogated them to find out who they are. But never mind. Do we want to give it a 2 in the case?
I would say 2. And misogyny, I'm holding such a grudge for the fucking little shot of Madeleine Swan tied up in a room full of explosives and gagged and shit.
Yeah, I hate that shit. I hate that
3
shit so
times in the
much.
same
Absolute
film,
damsel shit.
The widow.
Oh,
this movie doesn't respect women at all.
No,
like even slightly.
For some reason, we gave Skyfall a 6, and I feel like this is worse than Skyfall, but not worth a 7. But hey, the system is the system. We have to respect the referendum.
We do. I mean, I would say this is equal with Skyfall. I would say 6.
Okay, 6.
Yeah, okay, happy to take that.
In that case, that means the score is also equal to Skyfall, which befits its status.
Yeah,
as
Skyfall 2.
Yeah, Skyfall 2.
Skyfaller. It's 14.
Revenge of a Skyfall.
Well, we now enter
Skyman's Never Fall.
we enter into a period of strangeness here because we now have only one Bond film remaining, which is, of course, No Time to Die. And the intent at this point is to do No Time to Die as a live show and then, I guess, release some kind of recording of that after the fact, which leaves us with a bit of a gap. So
we are sort of in the swan song for KJB at the moment, and I'd like to permit us, please, dear listener, to savor this moment slightly. So let's do something else. Let's watch a couple of Bourne movies instead.
Taking a little sabbatical to kill Jason Bourne? That's take a brief, something I could firmly get on board with.
Okay,
a brief slide over, just to fill some time.
And then we will
watch through some Bourne movies.
All I can say is, Kill James Bond will return.
Hey guys, sorry the ending of that was a little confused. We'd been recording for a few hours and people were getting tired. But don't worry, Uncle Devon is here to make it all clear. The next mainline Kill James Bond episode, that is No Time to Die, will be recorded live in London on Friday the 8th of April. The venue will be announced and the link for tickets will go up in a little over a week from when this episode is released. So, since we're going to be recording No Time to Die on the 8th of April, it will be released on the main feed on the 19th of April, which gives us about 3 mainline episodes between now and then. So to fill that time, we're going to discuss in order the first 3 Jason Bourne movies, release No Time to Die, and then discuss the final 2 Jason Bourne movies, and we will call that Season 1 of Kill James Bond finished. It's been a wonderful journey. But of course, if that is simply too long for you to wait, you can head on over to our Patreon, where bonus episodes on every other week will continue unabated, unobstructed. Next week's bonus episode is The Foreigner, the Jackie Chan Pierce Brosnan movie about the IRA. Thank you to our £15 and above patrons, and those are Christine Fox, Fawkes Winchester, Jack Holmes, Paint McCalla, George Rohack, Thomas Oberhart, British Pterodactyl, Sol, Nikki, Phil West Music, Carolyn Tankersley, Max Kabinski, Rain, Benno Rice, Hit Divine, Amanda Rogda, Michael Lada, Max Gamenhart, Hell Bloodhands, Dread Pirate Robin, Jay Martindale, Kentucky Fried Commie, Elio Without the E, Jack Bushell, Field Commissar Jen, Mothman, Big Titty Goth Girl, Tarp O, Timothy Pajorni, Trip, Sydney Steckel, Charlie in the Closet, Jenna and Port, TARDIS in Paris, Elizabeth Cox, Zoe Shepherd, Finn Ross, Alfredo, Avery Darling, Philippa Smith. I make Devon say this out loud. Al Irwin, Wolfie, David Wickrameratna, Rael Leal, Richard Drum, Lucy Keeley, James Knapman, Millie Bon LeBon, Josh Simmons, Penny Banks, James Knapman, and Robbie Morgan. Oh, thank you so much. Kill James Bond is, of course, Alice, Abigail, and Devon. Our producer is Nate Bethay. Our podcast art is by Maddie Lubchansky, and our website is by Tom Allen. Yeah.